Okay, so this is a really quick run through of the think tank. Ideally, like what I think it should look like. So don't mind my hair. Some of my hair is all over my head. But okay. So I'm going to share my screen and let's get started. New share desktop. So, hey everybody, I just want to thank you guys so much for your time. My name is Sydney Carroll. I am the founder and CEO of Royalty and Training, but I am beyond thankful because being a CEO means nothing if you don't have a team of community leaders, community members, board members, staff standing behind you, helping you execute the vision. So, again, I want to thank you for your time. Today, the name of our organization is a 501(c)(3) organization, and it is entitled Royalty and Training. We do have a website up now. It was down for a while, but let me send it to you guys. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Royaltyandtraining.org is the name of the website. So you can go and check that out. I am telling you all now that our site has been down since since 2020. So yeah, so things have really definitely been on hold. But please feel free to check it out. Look at some of the things that we've done. We're currently developing the website a little bit more, so just check it out. And again, I want to remind you of the purpose of today's gathering. So today we are gathering to put our minds together. One of the great things that I've learned about education is that it is better when done together. Right. And so I am on a mission. I have a life's mission to help as many people as possible produce the best versions of themselves. However, way I can do that. If it's by teaching you about the word of Jesus Christ, that's what I'm going to do. If it's being your therapist and setting you up with some CBT, whatever, whatever it is. If I need to teach you how to read literacy skills, that's my goal. Okay. That's what I want to do. Right. And so I am, again, beyond floored and honored because this is a meeting of the mind. Right. And what I'm really saying to you is this is my baby. I'm pulling it out of the bathwater. We're dumping the bathwater out. I want to keep the baby. What new things can you put in the tub with my baby? What new toys can you put in the tub with my baby? Where can I get fresh water, right? Where can I buy a new tub? Like, what can I do to support this baby? So that's the purpose of today. To us talking about resources, what things that could be better, and things that could be better, things that are being done well, things that don't ever need to be done again. Okay, right? So in essence, Royalty and Training is, like I said, a mentoring nonprofit in which we work with the girls historically, and boys. Actually, we have a boys program as well called Crowns for Kings. Our girls program is called TR Not Tilted. And we work with kids ages 7 to 19. And the goal is for our participants to graduate from high school without an addiction to substances, for them to graduate from high school with a plan for what they're going to do next, for them to graduate from high school with successful and essential sustainable mental health skills, right? So the mission of Royalty and Training is to inspire and support leadership development in minority youth by providing professional experiences. Okay, so we're going to prepare them with interviews and internship opportunities during the summer, some coaching. We also set them up with educational experiences. So year round, you're going to see this with our rollout here later on. But year round, we offer tutoring support, after school support for our students, before school support for our students, to support their needs. So we value education. Like most doors require you to have a certain level of education for you to be able to open them and leave them open, right? And so education is super important. here at Royalty and Training. And then, of course, the social development aspect, where we see a lot of our children are struggling with social emotional skills. Of course, after the pandemic, some of them may have lost those skills or never really developed them. We're talking about simple things like when they're working at the cashier and it's like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm sure you've talked to someone who's like of the younger generation, they're like, are you ready to check out? It's like, what's going on with you? It's just lack of social skills. So through social experiences, by taking the girls all over this state and out of the state, by bringing in guest speakers, by implementing our evidence-based cognitive behavioral therapeutic curriculum that I myself have created as a therapist to support the needs of our children, to make sure that they can socially navigate, how to network, how to communicate where they are so they can check in with themselves, self-regulate, be better human beings in general. It's how we make this happen, right? And of course, we have a service learning focus. Every year, we commit at least 100 hours of community service. The last year, Royalty and Training was in operation. We completed 360 hours of community service because I am a people's person. Like that is, I am for the people, right? And so our curriculum, it is year round. And so what that means is that throughout the week, we have after school, before school, but on the weekends, we have bi-weekly mentoring curriculum that we roll out to our participants. And this is really amazing because, again, it utilizes solution focused and cognitive behavioral therapeutic methods to support our children for making healthier decisions about their bodies. So that's again speaking to that drug addiction, that's speaking to unhealthy sexual practices, that's speaking to having low self-esteem and not thinking that they can make it, changing their self-talk, really supporting our children to be better human beings, right? And then, of course, implementing Christian practices, and a high academic achievement expectation. That is the expectation. That's it. That's your job. That's why I tell my kids all the time, my girls, that's your job. This is my expectation for you to perform. Right. And then, of course, our philosophy at Royalty and Training is that we believe in recognizing the potential of our youth, right? That when we change the environment, when we level the playing field, or even give them an advantage that allows them to be able to compete on that level playing field or that unlevel playing field, we recognize that it changes the course of a conversation and they're able to recognize who they are. One of my favorite quotes by Albert Einstein is, if you expect a fish, and this is not exactly how it says it, but, and actually, to be honest, Albert Einstein did not say this, but anyway, he's credited with saying this. It's this concept that if you expect a fish to climb a tree, and that's how we measure success of that fish, we know the fish is never going to climb the tree, right? So that fish is never successful. But if we put the fish in water, if we put the fish in the ocean, in a tank, whatever the case may be, if we put the fish near its natural environment, we can support that fish being able to be successful in their own way. So kind of just again, a little background about who we serve Royalty and Training. Historically, in the past, we have served ages 7 through 19. We were in the process of creating a college program before everything kind of shut down. But again, we work with boys and girls. Our boys program is called Crowns for Kings, and our girls program is called Tiara Not Tilted, both of which all of our participants receive a mentor, and they are part of groups and teams, and they go out in the community and they fulfill our initiatives while also participating in the weekend activities. And the weekend activities are fun. Like we've taken the girls like bowling after we've done our curriculum work for the day, or we've gone to the Ronald McDonald Center where we've volunteered. We've done like a huge spa night and decorated our space one time. We had a huge like spend the night sleepover type thing. It was really great. And we talked to the girls about personal hygiene, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really great. But most of the time, most of our participants have been African American, males and females who come from right at the middle class level. And it's about 20%, but the majority of them come from low income homes that you can find in heavily marginalized communities. Most of the time, my parents have been single parent households, or we've also had a lot of children who have been flight risks, and a part of the system. So that's the population that we typically serve. However, um, we're open to all minority children. All minority children. I mean, and children that are white can also come to the program too if they would like, but that is our focus, right? And so again, our goal is for folks to be sufficient in education. We want them to be bold, we want them to be confident, we want them to be career ready. We want them to say, I may not know what the end is going to be, but I know if I continue to move forward, I can show my resilience and I will produce a life um, that is better than the one that I could have had I stayed on the path that I was on. Right. So, again, just kind of introducing myself, just kind of give you guys some background, like who am I? What right do I have to host a program like Royalty and Training? I started Royalty and Training in 2015 when I moved back to the Triad area after being in Durham for several years to pursue my undergraduate degree. Had an opportunity to work with a lot of low income at risk youth in Durham. And I actually started a daycare. I actually started a daycare and a summer camp program while I was in Durham, and things just didn't work out. I wasn't able to find sustainable employment long term. And so ended up moving back home. And by force, I became a teacher. And it ended up being one of the best decisions of my life. And so while I was looking for a job, I got hired by a middle school that was actually in my hometown, which is High Point, North Carolina. And I started seeing all of these girls who were going through all of the different things that I went through. And I remember feeling like I didn't have a voice, I didn't have a safe place to go to people and talk to them about how I was feeling. And if I did find those spaces, it definitely wasn't within a school building. It definitely wasn't a trusted adult. It was just a random adult who just happened to be available. And so I made it my mission to create intentional spaces for children to come into my classroom and talk to me, and to be encouraged and to simply say, like, "But baby, let me tell you, I tried this and this did not work out. It did not work out." So just creating that safe space, and that is what Royalty and Training is about. It's about creating a safe place for children to be cultivated into having the royal mindset that they should have had from the beginning, no matter how life has spun itself out to them. They should still have access to that opportunity. And so that's 100% what I believe. I am a licensed therapist in the state of North Carolina. I'm licensed in addictions in general. I'm a general practitioner. I also am a special education teacher, and I have been teaching for 10 years. So this is year 10 for me. So this is year 10. Woo woo. I did attend North Carolina Central as my undergraduate school. I also have received my master's degree at North Carolina A&T, and I am a PhD resident at UNC Charlotte. And again, y'all, just my life's mission is 100% about helping people produce the better version of themselves, the best level of themselves. So a couple of things you should know about Royalty and Training. We have a couple of annual events. And this is important. Why? I'm telling you this because when we first started Royalty and Training, prior to the pandemic, it cost me $10,000 out of pocket every year to run Royalty and Training. That came out of my teacher salary. Y'all know, the one that everybody's always laughing about, talking about. Well, I was using my extra cash to fund my nonprofit. Now, as you can imagine, the cost of everything has gone up. So in order for me to run this program, it is $30,000. It has tripled. And so I want to show you these annual events that we usually host for the kids. And I'm showing you this also because a few of these are fundraisers that we use to support our services. So we have Purple Hearts, Golden Promises, which is a teen mental health conference. It's one of my favorites, y'all. We had so much fun when we did that the last time. It was dope. Really, it was dope. And then we have our end of year college tours. And so that's when we take the kids out of the state. So this is really how it works. Throughout the year, we study a specific scientific thing or scientific entity. Case in point, the last time that Royalty and Training was in motion, we were focused on marine animals and aquatic animals. So we went to the Greensboro Science Center. And each girl was assigned, she got to choose her own animal. She got to choose her own, I'm thinking like algae prototype that she got to study on her own. And so when we went to the science center, the girls started like these blogs and these video reviews of their animal, of these things. So then when we went to Charlotte on a college tour, we brought our girls to UNC Charlotte. At this time, we only had our Greensboro High Point location. So we brought the girls down to UNC Charlotte for them to do a college tour of UNC Charlotte, which is really awesome. We were able to take them out to eat at Concord Meals. And then right after that, we took them to Sea Life or Sea Level or Sea World. I can't remember the name of it, but it's Sea Something here in Charlotte. And the girls had a blast. I mean, it was 2 times the size of a science center. So they got to see even more animals. We had conversation about new things that they developed, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward, our out-of-state trip that year was to go to Atlanta, and of course, we took the girls to the huge aquarium, like the big one. And they got an opportunity. One of the girls studied dolphins. So we went to the dolphin show, and y'all, like, my hair was like, so good, a Chinese bang. And I will show you guys that picture. Yes. And so it was really great. And so just watching the girls realize, like all these different things are connected, and we only can desire what we experience. And so again, I just think exposure is key if we want to see our kids go beyond and just grow, right? Right? Okay. So then we have our spring break college weekend. So at some point throughout spring break, we take the girls on a college tour. It's usually closer in proximity, like an hour away or something like that. We do overnight. So we get to see about 3 to 4 colleges. So we do overnight, and then we head out, and that's done. So that's that. It's really dope. And it just allows for us to have those social excursions again. And we always have a trade school involved, because my belief is, I'm not telling you you got to go to college. You don't got to go to college to be successful, but you better have a business plan. You better have a next step move for what it is that you're going to do to be successful. How will you eat? Government assistance is not an option. How will you eat? Right? And then of course the Royal Sneaker Ball. So the Sneaker Ball, actually, believe it or not, is a hybrid event. It's a fundraiser, but it also is how we allow the girls to throw a party, basically. And what happens is that we have each house, so to speak. There are 4 kingdoms within Royalty and Training, and each castle has an opportunity to represent or select a girl to represent them. And so it's kind of like an award ceremony-esque type thing. They get awards. We have a DJ, and of course they get to bring their friends. They sell tickets, right? They sell tickets. And so that's how we get funding going. But we also have our summer STEM camp. And STEM camp is a new edition that we're offering, but it is a 3-week program for girls in middle school. Yes. And they get to come together, and it is from 8 to 5 daily. We provide lunch. All of our events, we provide hot meals to our kids, because we don't know for sure, what the eating arrangement is for our children. However, the STEM camp is really awesome because we get to bring in and partner with other community agencies and present the girls with tasks such as like robotics, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really great. And the girls are able to grow. And I think those experiences, again, with their whistle for knowing, like, I can actually do this, I can make change, right? So this is our timeline at a glance. Okay, this is our timeline at a glance. And essentially the goal here, my intent in 2026 is to open up the school. The name of the school is the Alexander Preparatory Learning Academy. Okay. But in 2023, we're going to relaunch our program in our STEAM camp. The mentoring program, again, the mentoring program is when we meet every other Saturday for about 4 hours. The girls get access to their mentors. They set goals. We go through the curriculum and we participate in activities such as community service, social excursions, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have 2024. And that's when we're going to ramp back up our campus tours. It's going to be nice. The mentoring is going to reoccur again, but it's going to be before school and after school. Okay. So we're bringing that back in. So, again, as we're talking about this, some of the things that I definitely need is a facility. All right. So 2025, it'll be the STEAM camp, our scores, before school, after school. And I am licensed in North Carolina to open a daycare. So it is my desire to open up a daycare center, an enrichment daycare center that allows our participants, both girls and boys, for the daycare center, to gain educational and academic support to be great, right? Those are the most fundamental years, right? Oh, okay, I'm not going to get on my education soapbox. But anyway, and then year 2026 is going to be the first year of opening 5th grade. So at that point, year 2 of the daycare, we'll be starting 5th grade. So that is where we're headed. That is the goal here. And why do I want to open a school? What is the point of that? Because I want to open up a training academy for educators in which we prioritize culturally responsive teaching, in which we prioritize academically stimulating material to support our children in being able to compete in realms and levels that they may not know are available to them, right? And so this is a timeline again. Give you guys a few seconds to look at that. Okay. And so this is where we have the big conversation. So how are we doing this? Because I told you guys before I was paying this out of pocket, but I no longer desire to do that because 30,000 is more than 10,000. Okay. But because there is funding out there, and one of our biggest fundraising strategies is Queens Bestowing Crowns, and it is in the past, it has raised about $5,000. This year, we are pushing the envelope as we relaunch in person, and we're setting this up to be a $10,000 ticket event, if not more. Because this event takes place in April as we sell. It's our celebration of the nonprofit being open another year. So that's number one. But number two is also a women's empowerment conference in which we focus on mental health and self-care. Super important. And we also award our girls that have graduated through the program. We also award our community engagement members who have partnered with us to make this thing rock and roll at this event. So it's a big event. This year it's going to happen on April the 22nd. So if you will have some capacity, I would love for you to come April 22nd, 2023. If you're like, well, I'm not a woman, that's cool. Y'all, we need sponsors. So let me know if you need a sponsorship letter. Then of course our STEAM summer camp. Summer camp is a fee. There is a fee for summer camp because we got to keep programming running. I have to keep teachers and staff employed, and it's summertime. So that is that on that. And then of course Sneakers, Crowns, and Royal Gala. Okay. And that's really just another fundraiser that we have. It's an adult sneaker ball. It's no awards. It's just essentially a party thrown to make sure we can get the money in for the nonprofit. And these things all take place before, well, except for the STEAM summer camp, but these two events take place before the fiscal year ends. So, and that's really important because we take our college tour at the end of June. So it's that. So here's the part where we know there's been some places in the past that have kind of held us back. And so number one, funding. Funding. Renting a van, a bus, whatever the case may be, making sure that the kids have hot meals and sustainable snacks that they can take with them when they leave our programming, making sure that we can hire staff on a consistent basis, making sure that we can invest in our marketing, because I have a lot of certifications. Marketing is not one. If you know someone, if you are someone, if you want to be our board member, whatever the case, you want to be over marketing, listen, I will take you. Okay, I will take you. But community partnerships. I am new to the Charlotte area. I'm not a native of Charlotte. I am from High Point, North Carolina. Yes, we will have royalty and training running in Greensboro as well. So that's going to be really dope. But we'll have royalty and training running in Greensboro as well. And we need to work on our community partnerships. I don't know who to connect within the city of Charlotte. And if I'm even more honest, I don't know who to connect within the city of High Point. Honestly, I don't. I don't know. So I'm asking for help in that area, a space for facilitating programming on a consistent basis. In the past, we were gracious enough to get an abandoned, basically, community center, which was really dope. And they let us use the facility for like little or nothing. It was like $40. Listen, I was super thankful, right? So we do need a place for facilitating program. We've done recreation centers. That's cool. But a lot of times we would get like booted or moved because we were a nonprofit. And so they weren't making profit off of our rental. Okay. Um, and then again, just staff. Like people say that they are excited about doing nonprofit work, but they're not really committed to nonprofit work. And so it just kind of, it gets lost in the hustle and bustle. So we want to make sure that I want to make sure that we're investing in these quality areas. So this is part of the program now where we start to kind of take a different approach, where we have open response. Like, I want to hear from y'all. What do you think about all of that? Like, and you can comment in the chat. I want to hear from you, the good, bad, and the ugly. Like, lay it on me. I want to hear your thoughts. Here, let's go ahead and do this. I'll give you a second to drop that in the chat. And this is kind of while you're thinking about that, I just want to say that our organization definitely has needs. And again, we need board members, we need staff, we need volunteers, we need mentors, sponsors, ongoing funding. And every week for the last 4 weeks, I have applied to a new grant. So I'm working. Baby, it's working. I am working. I'm not twiddling my thumbs. And for those of you who don't know me personally, when it comes to something that I believe God has given me as a task, 100% no is not an answer. So we're knocking on doors until we get a yes, right? We're knocking on doors until we get a yes, as my close friend Nadia always says to me. So these are some questions I just want you to kind of think about for a second. We're gonna turn our cameras off for about 2 minutes. Let everybody take a quick bio break and kind of come back. And then we want to hear from y'all. Like, what are your thoughts? Where are you at? And then from there, once we come back from the break, we'll have people kind of go through and answer these questions. And we'll be taking notes. And so this event is all recorded. All of this is recorded. Okay. All right. Bet. So that's pretty much what it's looking like. Nadia, let me know what questions you have. Okay, bye.